iron, gold, only these are there. Gas, minerals. Then, so I think you are knowing regarding the some of the mineral resources. You are knowing some of the mineral resources. Here, natural resources comes there, mineral resources comes there. Each and every resources. But each and every resources has been identified or it has been utilized by the human. By the human. So today we are going to study regarding the human resource of India. We are going to study human resource of India. We are studying regarding the human resource of India. So human resource of India. Human resource of India. So here, so it is a lesson from the economics. Human resource. So you are knowing regarding the natural resource, mineral resource, you are knowing. But human as the resource. Human as the resource. It is a new concept. Human as the resource. So you are knowing many countries, they have been converted a population as a human resource. So till the 21st century, population was considered as the burden. Population was considered as the burden. But from the 21st century, it was the China which converted human as the resource, means population as the resource. Population as the resource. So earlier itself I have been said, countries in the whole world, countries, all the countries, they are having their own resource. Some are high, some are low. But first in the world, China converted the population as the resource. So it has been called as the human resource. It has been called as the human resource. So like natural resources, population is considered as the human resource. Population is considered as the human resource. So here, population is considered as the wealth of the country. I'll say why it has been considered as the wealth of the country later. Wealth of the country. The people living in a country constitute the population of that country. So people living in that country, they are considered as the population of that particular country. So how? So it has been, population has been divided. How it has been divided? So yes. 0 to 14 children. 0 to 14 children. 15 to 60 adults. 50 to 60 adults. 60 to above. They are considered as the senior citizens. So 60. 0 to 14 they are considered as the children. 15 to 16 they are considered as the adult. And 60 to at last. The last means you are knowing, I think. Till the death. They are considered as the senior citizens. So like this the population has been divided. So here adults are capable of working, and they are called and they form the national wealth. So adult, they are capable of working anywhere in the agriculture field, in the technology, so the adult, they are capable of working in the primary, secondary and tertiary sector. They are capable of working. So they are being considered as the national wealth. And next, how they have been considered as the national wealth? So knowledge, skill and abilities. From the human resource. They form the human resource of that particular country. So here, since the population of the adults in India, there is an increase in the workforce. So population of adult is being adult. We are having the population of population of adult population. So that is the workforce. That is the workforce. So it has been called as the human resource. So it is been called as the human resource. So they possess. So adult they possess to work. They are having the capacity to work. So if we put the investment, if we put the investment on the adults, for example, on the education, on the health, if we put the investment, if the government put the investment on the education of the education, government has to invest on the education, government has to invest on the health, then we'll get a good outcome. Then we'll get a good outcome. A skilled persons will get, a skilled workforce will get, a new technology means those who can form a new technology, they will come. So here we have to invest. So investment is what? We have to invest on the education and the health of the country. We have to invest on the education and the health of a country, means on the population. On the population. They will also able to earn higher income. They will also able to earn higher income in the future. So if we are government, in the earlier stage, if we invest on the education and the health of the particular children, so in the future they will get the good returns for the country. They will get the good returns for the country. Means we have to focus on the education, health. So you'll get a good income, a higher income, and make a valuable contribution to the society. While the education is been given, at that time they have been given a good education and health is been given, and the good health facility is been given to them, will get the higher income. Will get the higher income, and they will contribute. Afterward, in the future, they will contribute towards the society. They contribute towards the society. In the future, they will contribute towards the society. So the government work towards the providing the education and health facilities to the children. So government is planning to provide health facility and education towards the children. So in the future, we'll get a good returns. In the future, we'll get a good returns. So here, the education has been considered. So this is the thing. So here, the workforce is only this. Only this is the workforce. So they are dependent on the workforce. Even they are dependent on the workforce. Only this is the workforce. Only this is the workforce. 15 to 60 is the workforce. So even they are dependent on the workforce. Even they are dependent on the workforce. So afterwards I'll say, later I'll say. So next, people as the resource. People as the resource. People as resource. People as resource. So how you can consider the people as resource? So that is a question mark. So we can observe around us that the working capacity of healthy, educated, and trained people is more. Trained people is more. The nation income increases due to this. When we are having, in the one particular country, when we are having the educated population, healthy population, and the trained population, naturally that country's income will be increased. It will be that country's income will be increasing. And already in the developed countries, they completely depend upon the secondary and tertiary sector. Secondary sector means the industrial sector. Tertiary sector means the service sector. So who are there? Here the trained people are there. Here, even in the tertiary sector, trained people are there. Means they are giving importance towards the education. They are giving importance towards the education. Means that is the wealth of the nation. When the trained people are there, they will contribute towards the income of the nation. They will contribute towards the income of the nation. That is the reason why educated and healthy working people are considered as the nation's human resource. Nation's human resource. They are being considered as the nation's human resource. Why? They contribute in all the three sectors. They contribute in all the three sectors. Yes, the natural resources is there, mineral resources is there, even the other resources are there. All the resources are being utilized by the human being itself. All the resources are being utilized by the human being. By his skill, ability, it is being utilized. Simply, we can't simply it has been not utilized. Simply by any by the natural resources there. Natural simply we can't use the utilize. That has to be, that is one of the human's brain has been utilized to convert the natural resources into the convert the natural resources into the for the useful manner. So the brain of the human being itself, and to remove that particular from the natural resource from the earth crust. Earth crust. Who is needed? Human being is labor is needed. Human being is needed. So in all the factor, in all the sector, who is needed? Human being is needed. Which human being is needed? Educated, trained, and healthy human being is needed. Educated, trained, and healthy human being is needed. So the human being is being considered as the human resource. So the human being is being considered as the human resource. So people as the resource. So it is being called as the human beings. They are being considered as the resource. So it is being called as the human resource. By the brain of the human being, by the working capacity of the human being, then only the natural resource has been converted into the useful manner. Useful manner. So human resource occupies the greater importance in the production of goods and service, in the production of goods and service, than the natural resources and the material resource. Then the natural resource and the material resource. There may be natural resources there, material resources there, but it has to be converted into the useful manner. Who has to come there? Human being has to come. Human being has to put his brain, has to put his working capacity. He must be healthy. Then only it has been converted into the useful product. It has been converted into useful product. So here, they provide the skill, human being. Human being. They are being skilled workforce. They are being skilled workforce. Various jobs in the field, agricultural, industrial, service sector is been referred. Who are been working there in the agricultural, service sector, industrial and the service sector, all the human being itself. You may say that, sir, computers are there, etc. But who has been operating the computer? Human being itself. Sir, JCB can work more than the human being. Yes, who is operating the JCB? Who is operating the machines of JCB? Human being itself. Human being itself. So human force is been considered as one of the important force. Human force is been considered as one of the important resource of the nation. In all the three sectors, human being is needed. In all the three sectors. Primary, secondary and tertiary sector. In all the three sectors, human being is needed. Human being, his skill, his working capacity, his health is needed in all the three sectors. So human resources being conducted. So whatever today we are having, means today whatever we are having, the modern world, whatever the modern world is having, whatever the modern world, it may be electricity, it may be computer, it may be vehicles, fast moving vehicles, etc., etc. Whatever the modern world is been using, that is due to the skill and the brain of the human being itself. Skill and the brain of the human being itself. So it is better if the population of the country is not very huge. The population of the country must be not huge. It must be low and it must be a useful human resource. It must be useful human resource. So next we move towards the characteristics of the human resource. Characteristics of the India's population. Characteristics of the India's population. Characteristics of the India's population. So just listen to me. So India's population. India is one of the populated country. So China is first, second is India. So it has been said that in 2022, India will be in the first place. India will be in the first place. So here, the characteristics of India's population. Even this question is important. Question may come. What are the characteristics of India's population? Question may come. Even this question is important. Just listen to me now. The characteristics of India's population. Characteristics of India's population. So first, large in size and fast growth. Large in size and fast growth. Large in size and fast growth. So here, India with the population of the 121 crore. So it is the old static reports, 121 crore. Now the India's population more than 130 crores. More than 130 crores the population. As per the 2011 census, the India's population was 121 crore, 121.1 crore. So it is the second most populated country in the world next to China. Every sixth person in the world is an Indian. Every sixth person in the world is Indian. Every sixth person. So the rate of growth of population has been higher. Why the rate of growth of population higher? I'll say later. And with the population growing rate is 1.8% per annum. Population equivalent to that to Australia is added to every year. Every year, the Australia's population is been added to India. Every year. Every year, not sorry, 1 annum. So every year the population, the India's population is been, sorry, Australia's population is been added to India's population. Means the growth rate is high. The growth rate is high. This situation, if the same situation has been continued in the 2022, India will be the highest populated country in the world. If this country, so large in size and the fast growth population. So it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Why it is large in size? Why it is fast growth? Why it is due to the orthodox people. Due to some orthodox people. So due to some orthodox and due to some uneducated. So government is planning. Government will be saying only one child is enough or two children are enough. But some communities are there. There is no countless, more than 6, 12 are there. More than. So that is the reason. So next, second stage of demographic transition. Second stage of demographic transition. Second point. Second stage of demographic transition. So it's an important concept. Just listen to me. Second stage of demographic transition. So India is now passing through the second stage of demographic transition. Second stage of demographic transition. So in the second stage of demographic transition, death rate is low. Death rate is low. And death rate is lower. But the birth rate is higher. Death rate is lower. Birth rate is higher. In the second stage of demographic transition. Why the death rate is lower? Due to the modern medicines. Due to the modern medicine. Due to the modern medicines, due to this, and each and every diseases, they are having the certain medicine. They can curable. They can cure modern technology, due to the modern technology. So death rate is lower and the birth rate is higher. Earlier, many children, they will die during the birth itself, due to the malnutrition, etc., for reasons for them. But now, due to the modernization, modern medical facility, today death rate is lower and birth rate is higher. So this is the reason for the large size and the fast growth of the population. And the birth rate of the 2010 was 2.1 and the death rate was 7.2 per thousand people, implying to the net addition of about the 15 people per thousand, which is quite high. So this is regarding the demographic transition, second stage of demographic transition. So next, rapid rising density. Rapid rising density, the third point. Rapid rising density. So here, density of the population is the number of people living in a per square kilometer. Number of people living in a per square kilometer. Per square kilometer in a geographical area. So India is one of the most densely populated countries in the world, and 382 persons live in a 1 square kilometer. 382 persons live in a 1 square kilometer. 382 persons per square kilometer. According to 2011 census, 382 persons live in a 1 square kilometer. Means in a particular square kilometer, 382 persons live in a 1 square kilometer. Means here highly densely populated country in the world. So here next, India occupies 2.4% of the total land area of the world, but supports 16.7% of the total world's population. Even this is very dangerous. So now unfavorable sex ratio. Next one, the unfavorable sex ratio. So here sex ratio refers to the number of females per thousand males. So it is unfavorable in India. So here female ratio 943 per thousand males. Females, male. So unfavorable sex ratio. So 1000 males are there. For 1000 males, 943 females are there. So it is not balanced. So that is the reason in many castes today girls are not there. Especially in the certain castes are there. Girls are not there itself. The unfavorable sex ratio due to the unfavorable sex ratio. For the 1000 males, 943 females are there. 1000 male, 943 females are there. So this is due to the unfavorable sex ratio, and which is unfavorable to the females. So it is unfavorable to the females. Only 943 are there for 1000 males. Just count for the 130 crores of population. You get you can easily judge the unfavorable sex ratio. The next on the bottom heavy age structure. So bottom heavy age structure. So why? You get a little confusion. Just listen to me. The age composition of the India's population is bottom heavy. The age bottom heavy. It implies that the ratio of the person of the age group from 0 to 14 relatively high. So here comes why I have kept here. The bottom heavy of the age structure. So this 0 to 14 children. So it is heavy. They have been not working. They are dependent on the adults. So that composition of the population is heavy. So that is been called bottom heavy. So 0 to 14 percent relatively high. According to 2011 census, the children below 14 were the 30.7%. 30.7%. In 100%, 30.7%. 0 to 14. In 100%. 30 to 7% per 100. And next compare. Above seniors, they are 30%. They are more than 30%. More than 30, I think the 40 something are there. Next comes. So here, working force is less. Dependency force is more. Understood? 30, 60. Only 40% is the working force. Only 40% is the working force. Is it balanced there? Dependency is more. So bottom heavy. So here, this leads to the higher dependency ratio. It can be reduced by the slow downing the birth rate. Even this effect on the population, and effect on the income of the nation also. When the dependency is more, 60% of the population is dependent on the adults. 60% adults. Is it favorable balancing there? It is unbalanced. It leads towards the low economy. Low income. So next, predominance of the rural population. Next point, predominance of the rural population. India is the land of villages. And Indian economy depends on the villages. Village product itself. rural population. So here, predominance, the ratio of the rural and urban population of the country is on an index of the level of industrialization of a country. So the ratio of the rural and urban population of a country, it is an index of the industrialization. So when the rural areas are more, they are depend upon, quite naturally, rural areas, they depend upon the agriculture. Means here, other two sectors, they are lagging behind. Other two sectors, industrial and service sector, they are lagging behind in our country. So here, India's population is predominantly rural in nature, with the 68.8%. 68.8% of the people depend upon the villages. They live in the villages. They live in the villages, and they depend upon the agriculture. The process of urbanization is low and slower. Process of urbanization is low and slower. So even this is the reason for the characteristics of the India's population. So next, low quality of population. Even this has been there, low quality of population. Even in the literacy, we have been lagging behind. Not all the states. Some states they have been lagging behind. Some states are in literacy, they are number one. But from that state itself, they have been joining a terrorist group from the Kerala state. Kerala in the literacy, it is number one, and the highest number of they have been recruited towards the terrorism or the terrorist organization. And some are there, Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, they have been in the low in the literacy. So here, low quality of population. So we can find in India, easily you can find in India, the low quality of population. The quality of population can be judged from the education, skill, and health level of the people. Low quality of the population can be judged by the education, skill, and health level of population. So these are measured through the literacy and the skill education, skill attainment, and the life expectancy. On the life expectancy, we can measure it. So in the low quality of population, first comes the low literacy level. The low quality of population, first comes the low literacy level. So a low literacy level of India in 2011, 74%. The literacy level of India in 2011, according to 2011 census, was there 64%. It was 64%. It was according to 2011, the literacy rate of India was 74%. 74% of the people were literate, indicating that more than 31 crores of people were not able to read and write. According to 2011 census, more than 31 crores of people, they were not able to read and write. The female literacy rate was still lower, 65%. Female literacy was still lower, 65%. Female literacy was still lower, 65%. Next, low level of education and training. The level of education and training was very low in India. The number of reasons enrolled for the higher education as a percentage of population in the age group of 20 to 25 years was 20.4%, according to 2012. Only 20.4% of people, they have been applied for the higher education. It is only the fourth of the developed countries in the inside world. While the number of doctors per thousand population was 0.7. According to the population, number of doctors were 0.7%. The number of engineers, according to per thousand of the population, was 210. It is considered the less compared to the advanced countries. If you compare to the developed country, it is less. Low life expectancy means here, the life expectancy in the number of years a person is expected to live a life. The expectancy was 65.8 years, 65.8 years in 2013, which is lower compared to that of the developed nation. In India, only 65.8%, 65.8 years, 65.8 years he can live in India. 65.8 years. It has been considered. Which compared to developed country, it is low. Next, we'll come to next, the 8th point. Low work participation rate. Low work participation rate. So here the ratio of the working population to the total population is referred to as a work participation rate. Low level work participation. So here this rate is very low in India, 39.8%. 39.8% in the 2011. So they will be qualified. So they will be qualified. They have been not getting a job. They are unemployment, which is one of the major problems. So here low work participation rate due to the unemployment. Why? So he has been educated, but he doesn't want to work in the agriculture field. He has been searching the job itself. So even this comes on the dependence. So it has been called as the low work participation rate. Next, the last thing is the overpopulation. So our country's population is overpopulated. So here, this is the increase in the food production to 252 million tons in 2015 and 16. In 2015 and 16, it has been 252 million tons in the food production. Problems like poverty, hunger, malnutrition are still accurate in India. They have been still active in India itself. Agriculture is overcrowded and the average Indian suffers due to the low per capita income. They suffer. So low standard of living, high slum population, unemployment and underemployment, etc. So these indicates our population size has crossed the tolerable limit. Means here overpopulation. Why overpopulation is there? Due to the we have been success in increasing the food grains, but still poverty is there, hunger is there, malnutrition is there. Why? Due to the overpopulation. Agriculture, primary sector has been crowded. We have been not developed in the industrial and the tertiary sector. We have been not developed. Only we have been dependent on the agriculture, but agriculture has been crowded. So here the average Indians are due to the low per capita income. So due to this, there is low standard of living is there. High slums are being developed in the cities. Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, Mumbai. Slums have been developed due to this itself. Overpopulation. Unemployment is there. Underemployment is there. All these indicate that our population size is large. It has been overcrowded, overpopulation. So this is regarding the human resource of India. Whatever I have been taught till only the characteristics of India's population. Only till